Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so grateful that you are here. My name is Nikki and I use my clairaudient and channeling abilities to help people find the magic within. If you're new here, welcome. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will be notified when I upload new videos every week. Today, I will be channeling messages from the Ghost of Christmas Past. So what this means is Spirit would like to use my clairaudient ability to channel messages from your past lives, because what I'm being shown very strongly is there is something from a past life that is being brought into your present moment right now, and Spirit wants to bring this to your awareness so that you can take the steps to change whatever beliefs are being held in your subconscious mind to more empowering ones. Because any negative or limiting beliefs that may be holding you back right now, it's a belief that is in your subconscious mind. But I'm being shown for a lot of you that this stems from a past life, and the Ghost of Christmas Past would like to gift this awareness to you. So in the next part of the video, you will see 5 different angel crystals. Please meditate on the angel crystal that is speaking to you and go to the timestamps that I provide down below to go directly to your reading from there. Also, if any part of a message does not resonate, just know that message is not for you. Don't try to force something that does not fit. Only take what resonates and leave what does not. Let's jump into the readings. Hello everyone who chose pile number 1. What messages does the Ghost of Christmas Past have for you? So first off, I would like to hold space to see what I can hear specifically from Spirit before we pull your cards. So thank you, Spirit, for connecting me with the energy of everyone who chose pile number 1. Thank you for being here, everyone, and thank you to Spirit for the messages you have for pile number 1. What would you like them to hear? Thank you. The first word that I heard very strong and clear is clarity. So there's something here in your life that has caused a lot of confusion, and it's stemming from a situation that took place in a past life. Thank you, Spirit. What else? There's a lot of creaking going on in my house right now. So I feel like Spirit has been communicating with you through sounds that have been perpetuating in your home where you live. What else, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah, hearing distraction. So there are things that are distracting you from receiving the clarity that you want at this time. So let's pull some cards. I have 3 different decks here and see what transpired in a past life, messages from the Ghost of Christmas Past, to see what the cycle is and how you can break that cycle going forward. We're going to start with the Divine Feminine deck. Thank you, Spirit. What other messages do you have for pile number 1? Thank you. We have Isis, the goddess of magic. Sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. Thank you, Spirit. Next, we're going to use the Fairy of the Oracle deck. What else, Spirit? Thank you. Lost and found. What was once lost is about to be found. Thanks to the lost and found fairy. Sometimes she can help us find things we never even realized were lost. I'm going to pull one more card from the Fairy of the Oracle deck. Go outside. It's time to go outside. Tune in to the powerful peace of nature whenever you are and feel at one with your habitat. And the final deck we'll be using will be the Moonology. I will also pull 2 cards from this deck. Bring love into the situation. New moon in Aquarius. Okay, we had a bunch fly out. Too many, Spirit. Thank you. One more card. Feel called to take this top one. It's kind of like, You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. Okay, so pile number 1. Some of you are looking for clarity into something that is lost right now. Perhaps you've been looking for something and you want clarity as to where you have put it. Some of you are wanting clarity in terms of your sex life, in terms of your sexuality, your sexual energy. And that's why we have Isis, the goddess of magic. Sexual energy is sacred. We have go outside. So a big message here for clarity right now would be to get out into nature, because nature is very healing. And another message that Spirit wants you to know is that whatever you're going through right now, whatever confusion or lack of clarity that you feel, Spirit wants you to know that you and your loved ones are safe. And with any negative energy, bringing love into the situation will always prove beneficial. So these messages are pulling forward from a past life. So first off, I would like to focus on Isis, the goddess of magic. Sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. So those of you who are looking for clarity in terms of your sex life, in terms of your sexuality, this is stemming from something that took place in your past in this life and also in your past from a past life. So I am hearing trauma. There was some type of a trauma that took place that has you confused about how to view sex and sexuality in general. So I'm going to place my hand on the goddess of magic and see what I can hear from the ghost of Christmas past. Thank you, Spirit. What messages do you have with this card? The first thing I'm hearing is healer. You actually are very gifted in helping other people heal perceptions around sexuality. But first, you have to heal this within yourself, because as you learn how to do it, you're going to be able to teach others how to do it. And this is something you did master in a past life, is what I'm being shown. And I'm being drawn to the word pleasure. Sexual pleasure is truly a gift. And there are a lot of narratives in the world that tell us that sex is sinful or that it's something to be ashamed about. And that's not true. We are all sexual beings. And sex is actually a gift that was given to us from the universe, from the divine, from God, whatever you choose to believe in. Or if you don't believe in anything, that is 100% respected by me. However, in a past life, you had a very strong aura in terms of your sexuality. And it's like this part of you is beckoning to you right now. This is where the confusion is because I'm being shown for some of you, you were brought up to view sex in a negative light or view that it was shameful to have pleasure from sex. And your past life, that version of you that was so strong in your sexuality, it's saying, no, this is not who you are. This is who you really are. You are solid in how you view sexuality. And the reason why you have been feeling this resistance in terms of your perception around sex is because in a past life, you were a very powerful healer of helping people to accept their sexuality, to accept that pleasure is not sinful, that it is not shameful, that it is actually very healthy to allow oneself to take joy in the act of sex. And you were able to show people this in a very healthy way, because there is a dark side of sexuality where people can take it to very dark places, but that's not what you were about. You actually helped lift people out of that darkness. And whatever you were taught to believe in this present lifetime, the confusion is happening because your past life self was so strong in their sexuality. And that's where the resistance is being felt, because you're like, well, this is what I've known my whole life in this lifetime. And your past life is showing up to say, hey, you are actually very powerful in the modality of healing perceptions of sexual health, sexual energy. I'm seeing very strong sexual energy healers. I'm seeing very strong sexual like transmuters of negative sexual energy, helping uplift mindsets in terms of sexuality, helping to release judgments around sexuality. It's just this very strong presence. And if you have been connected to Isis, this keeper of the light, she is so powerful in helping you to tap into that essence of who you truly are. So there is definitely some healing to be done in your present life right now around how you view sexuality and pleasure, and knowing that it is not sinful, that it is not shameful. And when you need confirmation of this, just tap into your past self, connect with that past self version of you that can help you heal it. So very, very strong energy there. And that's very, very cool, because sexuality is one of the biggest things we need to heal here on planet Earth as a collective. I'm also hearing there's something here to do with sexually transmitted diseases. Some of you are here to help change perceptions around those things, and also to let people know that just because that took place in their life, just because someone contracted a sexually transmitted disease, it does not define who they are. Some of you are here to help people love themselves despite something negative that transpired with sexuality or a sexual trauma. Because when sexual traumas take place, it can take a mental toll on the self-love that someone has for themselves. A lot of people have defined themselves based off of things like that have happened. And it's important to help bring oneself back into center, to be present with oneself, to ground oneself, and know that those things do not define anyone. That we are all lovable despite having had to go through those traumas, despite having contracted an STD, despite having just dealt negatively with certain people who had different perceptions of sex that we took on ourselves. So you are very powerful in helping people heal perceptions around sexuality. Next, we have lost and found. Some of you have lost something and you want clarity around what happened to it. Where is this thing you lost and how can you find it? That's why we have lost and found. So I'm going to place my hand on the card and see what the ghost of Christmas past would like to tell you. Thank you, Spirit. What is lost here? I'm hearing the first and foremost thing very loud and clear was a sense of self. Okay. Can you clarify that, Spirit? Thank you. What happened in a past life where a sense of self was lost? Yeah, they're going back to the sexuality. A lot of you have dealt with very difficult situations in terms of traumas around sexuality, and a sense of self was lost because of these difficult things that you went through. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm hearing dignity. And what they're showing me is in terms of a sense of self, what they're saying is in some of your past lives where these negative things happened, it's time to call your power back, because if you don't feel worthy, whole, and complete as you are right now in this present moment, it's because there are fragments of your soul that are staying in other times and other places. So there's like a piece of your soul stuck in a past life. but it's actually very easy for you to call that lost soul fragment back to yourself. You can do this with soul retrieval meditation. And also, when you open your hands up, you get in receiving mode and you close your eyes. You get very present behind your eyes because the power of your presence is in the present moment. And when we are present in our body, very present behind our eyes, we are in our body fully. And this is where you can feel everything within yourself and also hear your intuition very loud and clear. There are a lot of benefits to getting present in the body, and when you are present in your body, it helps you stay present right now. So if you close your eyes and you get very present behind your eyes and you have your hands up in receiving mode, you can call your power back to you from other times, other people, other places. That's how powerful that you are. It's just a matter of setting those intentions and believing that you're capable of doing these things because you are. So some other messages we have here, we have go outside. So to get more clarity, getting out in nature would prove very beneficial. It's time to go outside. Tune in to the powerful peace of nature wherever you are and feel at one with your habitat. So I'm going to place my hand on this card and see what else the Ghost of Christmas Past would like to tell you. Thank you. What else, Spirit? Yeah, going for walks would be very beneficial to helping you get clarity because when we go outside and we walk, we're being at one with ourselves and with nature. And while, yeah, it's fun to listen to music when we go on a walk, that's 100% okay. But to get the clarity that you are looking for right now, it will prove more helpful to just be at one with your thoughts. Like maybe for one day, just leave the headphones at home and just be with yourself and walk so that you can hear your intuition clearly while you are out thinking and getting the clarity that you want. Thank you, Spirit. How does go outside relate to past life messages? Thank you. Yeah, in a past life, a lot of you also were healers in terms of doing things out in nature. You gathered a lot of your power from the trees, from the grass, from flowers, because you understand that we are all connected, and because you had that awareness of connection to nature, you were able to bring healing to the environment, is what I'm being shown. So I'm seeing if you go outside and you do something out in nature, you will get little glimpses or intuitive hits about this past life in terms of your ability to heal things in nature and to use like herbs or holistic type of healing to other people. Like I'm being shown like someone who knows how to use herbs and plants to bring healing to people. And when you go outside, you'll get little intuitive hits remembering these things about yourself. So what else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm hearing very strongly the herb hemlock. I'm not very familiar with that herb, but do some research on the herb hemlock because I believe has to pertain to clarity of some sort. I've heard of it, but I've never researched it. But I'm being shown that the herb hemlock would be very helpful to bringing clarity in your situation right now. And in a past life, you used this a lot. It was one of your favorite herbs, is what I'm being shown. What else? Thank you. I'm also hearing teacher. You also may have a mission in this lifetime right now to teach people about nature, about the healing properties of nature, gardening, helping people heal with herbs, energy healing with nature, like feeling emotion of nature, really connecting with nature. Some of you are here to teach people how to do that because you did this in a past life. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm also hearing technology. There's something really cool here about combining nature and technology together. So I'm being shown some of you may be working on projects that are implementing these two things, or it's something you will do in the future that will really transcend and help to, because I'm being shown how people are on their phones all the time and that can cause like a distraction. That there's something here where you're implementing technology and nature together in a very powerful way. That's cool. That is so cool. And it's going to revolutionize the world because it's almost like changing perception around technology. Like, oh, technology it's a distraction, and how people, you can kind of get a sense of like feeling bad because you're scrolling on your phone. But no, there's something very, very revolutionary about something you're going to create that is going to bring technology and nature together in balance. It's integrating both of them in a healthy way. I can only see like electronics and technology, and then it's like seeing computers like outside in nature, or somehow it's like bringing them into unity with one another is what it's like. But yeah, your past self, because your past self was so in tune with nature, something that you're meant to do in this lifetime here, your past life is helping you to integrate those things in your present moment right now. So going outside would prove to bring clarity around something you're working on right now, a situation. Even those of you who have lost something or are confused about your sex life, sexuality, anything in terms of that, going outside will bring clarity. And this is very strong that your past self is bringing through right now. I feel inclined to place my hand on the lost and found card as well, because there's somebody here who is looking for something that they lost. It's not in terms of a sense of self. It's something like in your house that you lost that you've been looking for. It's like keys or a social security card, or I'm hearing very strongly glove compartment. For those of you who have lost something, really dig into your glove compartment in your car, because it very well could be in there. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm also hearing closet. So definitely go through some of the closets in your house. Look deep into the pockets in your coats. Or I'm also hearing a shoebox within a closet on the floor. It could have fell in there, or you could have put it in there for safekeeping and not remembered that you put it in there, is what I'm being shown. What else, Spirit? Thank you. Someone here lost a ring. I'm being shown that some of you think you lost it in a body of water. Is that true, Spirit? Is it in a body of water? For some of you, it fell down a drain, and I'm being shown that it's still in the drain. It's still salvageable. Calling a plumber would help to get it out. It's not completely lost. It's still like just sitting in the drain for some of you. It's not lost forever like you think it is. Because I can see that this piece of jewelry, it holds a lot of sentimental value to you, and Spirit is returning it to you in some way, shape, or form. So that's all I'm seeing for the lost and found. We have 2 more cards here. We have bring love into the situation, and you and your loved ones are safe. So bring love into the situation. What is going on here? Yeah, the first thing I'm hearing is it's drawing back to clarity around your sex life. So there in your what I'm being shown for some of you in your present moment right now, in a relationship that you are in, or for those of you who are single, it's a need to bring love into the situation. I'm being shown a few different dynamics here. For those of you who are single, wanting to have a sexual connection with someone, wanting to have that love with someone else, bringing love into the situation, it epitomizes first having love for yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, then that is reflected in your reality. You'll see situations that reflect that lack of self love to you. But when you start embodying that self love and stepping into your power, that's you bringing love into the situation. And that's how you attract a loving, healthy, intimate relationship into your life. I am also hearing sexual intimacy with oneself, learning to love yourself in that way, if that is in the form of self pleasure, because that is an act of self love. There is nothing wrong with doing that, but starting to embody that for yourself, getting to know yourself on that level, will also help draw a healthy sexual relationship into your life. And then I'm seeing another dynamic here where there's couples who are having issues in the bedroom, and Spirit is saying to open your heart and really assess the energy around the situation. Sometimes bringing love into the situation means walking away. Sometimes bringing love into the situation means compromising and opening your heart to your partner. But if you find you're opening your heart to your partner and your partner isn't returning that same level of effort back to you, then perhaps bringing love into the situation would mean to walk away so that you can be with someone who does value you. But there is another dynamic where it's bringing love into the situation would be to compromise and open your heart and be willing to meet your partner halfway. It's about discerning the energy. And you can tell this because your partner speaks very clearly with their actions, and you can tell if someone loves you unconditionally or not. If it's their way or the highway and they don't compromise with you, that's a good indication of that type of energy. If you have a partner who's willing to do anything you want to do, is willing to go to therapy, go to counseling, who's willing to work on it with you, then that's another level of discernment that shows you what your partner, how invested your partner is. So you can see these things with the energy and then bring that level of love according to what is transpiring in your life right now. We have you and your loved ones are safe. So I'm going to place my hand on this card and see what the ghost of Christmas past would like to tell you. What's this in terms of, Spirit? Oh, there's some money issues here. Feeling worried about money, feeling like not going to be able to make ends meet. And Spirit is saying, we got you. You're covered. You and your loved ones are safe. And how does this relate to a past life? Thank you. Because in a past life, there were a lot of people around you who handled money very poorly, and there were a lot of beliefs that you took on in your subconscious mind. But Spirit wants you to know that this is the lifetime that you transcend them. So those beliefs in the past, in a past life, they're coming into your present moment right now because they're very deeply embedded in the subconscious mind. So working on your money mindset, working on your belief system around money would prove very beneficial. Affirmations are very, very good, but I will say this, affirmations will only work if you truly believe them. You have to get very, very clear on what your beliefs are. You have to become aware of what your beliefs around money are first, and then ask yourself, do I still believe this? So like, for example, if there's a belief, I believe money does not grow on trees, then you can make the change and say, no, I don't believe that anymore. I believe that money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I believe I am open to new streams of income now. I believe I welcome love into my life. I believe I deserve money in my life. The beliefs really do matter. So affirmations will work as long as you truly believe them. So get clear on what your beliefs around money are. Are there any final messages from the ghost of Christmas past for pile number 1? Thank you. I'm here and talk your talk. Talk your talk. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Because one thing when it comes to clarity is what I'm being shown is that if we say we're going to do one thing and then we do another, that creates a lack of clarity. It manifests a lack of clarity and confusion because it's like the energy gets confused. We say we're going to do something and then we don't do it, or we do another. The energy gets confused because our word said one thing and then didn't take the action. So in terms of having clarity about your situation, when you affirm something, attach the applicable action to it as well. So those are your messages from the ghost of Christmas past. Thank you, pile number 1, and thank you, Spirit. If your reading resonated, if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you on the next video. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. What messages does the ghost of Christmas past have for you? So, first off, I would like to use my Clairaudient abilities to see what I can hear about what Spirit wants you to know right now. Thank you, Spirit. What messages do you have for pile number 2? I'm hearing the word racing. So I'm being shown some of you are having racing thoughts about something, or some of you are participating in a race of some sort, a competition of some sort. What else, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah, I'm hearing daunting. It feels very overwhelming. There's like this overwhelming fear around a situation in your life, whether that's about the competition, about a situation, just a lot of racing thoughts, something competitive. It's daunting. It feels like it's too much to handle, is what I'm picking up on. So let's pull some cards and get some more messages from the Ghost of Christmas Past. First, I will be using the Divine Feminine deck. Thank you, Spirit. What other messages do you have for pile number 2? Enheduanna, the High Priestess. I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. Next, I will use the Fairy of Oracle deck, and I will be pulling 2 cards from this deck. Fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. It's said that seeing is believing, but in fact, the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. Magical blessings. Whatever you're going through, you're being assisted by magical fairy blessings. The fairies say you can bless others too. And the last deck of cards we'll be pulling 2 cards from is the Moonology deck. A new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. Okay, pile number 2. So let's reflect on the Divine Feminine card. Enheduanna, the High Priestess. The High Priestess. I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. So I am picking up on very strongly that a lot of you in a past life were high priestesses, or I'm feeling the opposite of this card, which is the Hierophant. So a lot of you, no matter what your gender is, were very high up in positions in a past life. And you learned how to be at one with your soul. And I feel like this is something that you are learning to do right now. But there are a lot of beliefs old beliefs that are coming up right now because they contradict this leader energy from a past life. That leader in you is emerging right now. So that's why these racing thoughts or feelings of competition and comparison are coming up right now, because they're coming up for you to let go of. So I'm going to place my hand on this card and being drawn to her third eye. There is an opening of your third eye. So you could be starting to see spirits. You may be starting to see fairies, because we have fairy spotting. And it's almost like this feeling of, I can't believe what I am seeing. But Spirit is saying to believe what you are seeing, because you really are seeing it. It is a gift that you have. And Spirit is saying that it's important for you to embrace these gifts about yourself. You're being very blessed right now. Magical blessings. So I'm going to place my hand on the High Priestess card in Heduana and see what I can hear. Messages from this past life version of you. Pile number 2. Thank you, Spirit. What messages do you have with Enheduana? Whoa, some of you actually worked with Enheduana. This was a soul tribe member of yours. So connecting with her spirit will help you to align to your soul tribe in your present moment right now. And I'm actually being shown that some of you are aware of this divine feminine, and they're showing me that your minds are actually blown that she's showing up in the reading right now. This is her coming through to tell you that she is with you while you are channeling, while you are working on your psychic abilities, while you are aligning with your soul tribe. Aligning also first and foremost with your own soul, because that's what brings your soul tribe to you. Because I am one with my soul is the top message on the card here. So what else, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah, a lot of you have the gift of seeing, vision, which I believe that is clairvoyance. You have the gift of seeing things that other people cannot see. And it's because your consciousness has been ascending. Your vibration is raising. And the second line on the card says, and my soul is a legacy of love. It's because you're learning to have more self-love for yourself, unconditional love for yourself, and also for other people. So your gifts are coming online. And for some others of you, this is a gift you've had your whole life, I can see. What else, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah, you also have the gift of sensuality. There's something very delicate about how you move, and your movement is also very healing. You're a very sensual person in the way you talk, in the way you move your body, in the way you present yourself, and it's really beautiful. And this was you as a high priestess in a past life. That sensuality has been brought forward into your present lifetime right now, and these are gifts that you have been using your whole life, whether you have realized that or not. What else, Spirit? Thank you. You also have a very amazing ability to integrate darkness and light. you, in a past life, you had this amazing awareness that we are all one, that we are all connected, and you have an innate ability to look upon the darkness with love, without judgment, without hate, without spewing negativity at other people. You have this ability to look upon the darkness with compassion, and that's how you've integrated it. And you've also been learning how to integrate your shadow self and use that for the highest good of all. This was something you mastered in a past lifetime. And I am being shown that some of the shadow aspects that you've been working with, it feels daunting. That's why we were hearing daunting. Some of the shadow work feels daunting, but your past self is saying these are things that you actually have mastered before, and that it's not as daunting as you're perceiving it to be. And if you can let go of the belief that it is daunting, that is where more forward movement will take place much easier. What else with the High Priestess card here? Thank you. I'm hearing the word civil. So for some of you, this is like being able to act civil with people who are rude to you, being able to bring calm energy, not letting it affect you. Like you have this calming presence around you, and this ability to not care what other people think. In a past life, this high priestess version of you, this hierophant version of you, did not care what other people thought. And these racing minds, this past self version of you is saying, if you can't change that belief, if you can say, okay, I'm aware of this belief, I believe, I care what other people think, and go, okay, I no longer believe that. I actually believe I don't need anyone's approval. I believe I don't care what other people think. Then your paradigm starts to shift because your belief is shifting, because you're letting go of the old belief and you're believing that you don't care what other people think anymore. It really is all about beliefs. And your past self is saying, you did not care what other people thought. And this is something you can overcome right now. And it's only as daunting as you perceive it to believe. So if you believe this situation in my life is so daunting right now, you can change the belief and say, I believe I'm overcoming this easily. I believe that my situation is not daunting. I believe that I can stay in inner peace no matter what. So assess your beliefs around these things is what your past self is bringing through here. But yes, you have a very powerful ability to see spirits. If you have not experienced this yet, you will. The more you raise your vibration, the more that you choose to see people with compassion and love, see yourself with compassion and love, your vision is going to get stronger. And you will actually be able to see spirits, angels, fairies. And I'm being shown that some of you actually have started to see some of these, and it's like kind of freaked you out a little bit. Some of you are feeling that is what is daunting. This is overwhelming. I haven't seen spirits my entire life, and now I'm seeing them. This is overwhelming and daunting. But this is actually part of your mission here. You're here to help take messages from these spirits and help in some way. So I want to see what that is specifically with your past life with the High Priestess and the Hierophant, and fairy spotting here, picking up on how you used your clairvoyance, your gift of being able to see to help other people. Thank you, Spirit. You helped people get healthier in terms of what, Spirit? Thank you. they're pointing out the mind. You were able to bring messages from the other side to help people with their mental health. This is why you're having those racing minds, is because it's something you've signed up to experience, so that you knew what it would feel like, so you could help other people. You wanted to know what it felt like so that you could relate to people who have racing thoughts. And that's why it feels daunting, okay? Is because your soul made a contract to go through this so that you could relate to people who are going through the same thing and show them how you overcame it, how you're overcoming it right now. So this is actually happening for you and not to you. It's happening for you so that you can help other people overcome it. Because how can we help other people if we don't understand what they're going through? Okay? So this is why you're having the racing thoughts. This is why it feels daunting and overwhelming. It's because your soul chose to experience what that would feel like so that you could step into your mission and help people overcome it. So thank you for choosing to do this very important work. Yeah, and because of the service and the value that you're adding to people right now, and that you will add to people with your mission, you are so blessed. You are so, so blessed. You have magical blessings all around you. I'm going to place my hand on the magical blessings card and see what else I can hear from Spirit. What is pile number 2 being blessed with because of this very important work that they chose to come here and do? Abundance in all its forms. Abundance with traveling, abundance with finances, abundance with love from soulmates and family and friends. And I'm seeing that you're manifesting this right now, because see how there's 3 women on the card here? You have some very powerful companions coming into your life. That's why I was hearing Soul Tribe with Inheduana. Blessings in the forms of divine connections. That each of you has a resource to help contribute to your mission. And you'll know these people because the soul has immediate recognition of soul family. What else with the magical blessings card, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah, they're saying dancing and celebration, a lot of invitations to do things, a lot of parties, and I am also hearing homebody. Some of you like to stay at home and have your alone time as well, but there is something here about a lot of celebrations to be had that you will take part in the future. Whether that's even just as simple as an invitation is going out for coffee with some friends or loved ones. So a lot of blessings are coming in because of this very important work that you came here to do. We have a new romantic cycle begins. So yeah, some of you are being blessed with a new romantic cycle. A soulmate love is coming in. You could also be aligning with a twin flame, because the more that you love yourself, your twin flame is doing that same type of work at the same time that you are. And it's only a matter of time before you align in the physical with them. I'm going to place my hand on a new romantic cycle begins and see what I can hear. Thank you. I'm hearing the word significant. So there is a very powerful soulmate, a significant soulmate entering your life right now. Or this could also be a soulmate that's already in your life who you're having a different perspective about, a different perception, opening your heart to them. This is a very significant person in your life. This is also somebody that you're here on a mission with to do great things in the world with. So, very well, a significant soulmate, a sacred connection, twin flame energy here with a new romantic cycle. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm hearing the word constant, so there's something here about fast forward movement. What else? Thank you. Yeah, they're pointing out the Eight of Wands. Like on that card, the wands go. So this is like coming into your life very fast. The more that you are cultivating self-love for yourself, self-care for yourself, it is very strongly coming in. And it's right next to the magical blessings card. What else, Spirit? Thank you. So when I put my hand on this card, I felt like a sensation in my foot of like tingling. So I feel like when you meet this person, you're going to have a sensation in your body because of the soul recognition. You could feel it in any part of your body. And it will be very instantaneous when you feel it. You might feel like energy throughout your whole body. You might feel like a little pulse in your foot. Like I felt it in my right foot. It felt like it was kind of asleep a little bit, but it was like numb and tingling. So you're going to feel some type of sensation when you meet this person. And that is the indication that this is a significant soul connection that is meant to be a part of your journey here. So things to look out for, pile number 2. Your last card is you and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. So what's going on here? Messages from past self. Oh. With a new romantic cycle begins and the High Priestess, I'm being drawn to Libra and Cancer. One of you may be a Libra and one of you may be a Cancer. And this was also someone that you had a significant connection with when you were a High Priestess or a Hierophant in a past life. This is somebody in this past life significantly that you did a lot of work with, that you're meant to do this similar type of work with in this life. So I'm going to place my hand on the High Priestess card, and you and your loved ones are safe, and see what I can hear. Thank you, Spirit. What's going on here? I'm hearing solitude. So there was something very significant about being a homebody. But how does that relate to you and your loved ones are safe, Spirit? Thank you. Okay, this is about connecting with other people for some of you. In a past life, you were not shy. You actually connected easily and effortlessly with other people. And Spirit is saying it is safe for you to socialize. It is safe for you to reach out to people. It's safe for you to initiate contact. And there is a very strong feeling of isolation for some of you. And your past self is saying that to heal isolation, you have to put yourself out there. You have to insert yourself into people's lives so people can see you. And it's not like doing it in a way that's like stalkerish, okay? This is where Spirit is saying you and your loved ones are safe. You are safe to put yourself out there. because Spirit knows that you're not a stalker, okay? But there's also this sense of, well, I have tried initiating contact and nothing seems to happen. Spirit is saying, try again in a playful way. Show that you're funny. Show them the real you. Like, don't give up just after one time. Try again. Because people, they have busy lives, and sometimes you never know what's going on in someone's life. And sometimes you're the soulmate that's coming in to align with that soul tribe. Sometimes you're the piece that starts it all. So, any final messages for pile number 2? Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, Spirit is saying let go of perfection and that it's quality over quantity. It's not a matter of how many friends you have, it's the quality of the people in your life, taking notice of how people treat you, how people respond to you, how people interact with you, paying attention to energy. Quality over quantity is what is very important right now. So you're in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Continue to work on your healing because you're going to help other people heal from what you're going through right now. And I'm also hearing EFT tapping. So however you're feeling right now, EFT tapping helps you honor how you are feeling and really cultivate love and appreciation for yourself despite those negative feelings that you are having. You're honoring those feelings, but also loving yourself through feeling them. So EFT tapping would prove very beneficial. So that is all that I am seeing, pile number 2. Those are your messages. If your reading resonated, if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you on the next video. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. What messages does the ghost of Christmas past have for you? First off, I would like to open up my Clairaudient abilities and see what messages specifically I can hear from Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Connecting to the energy of everyone who chose pile number 3, what would you like to tell them? Thank you. I'm hearing course correct. So there's something here about thinking you're going in the wrong direction, thinking or wondering if you're in the right place at the right time right now. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm hearing indecision. What else, Spirit? I'm hearing taking chances and trying new things. So I will be using 3 different decks. Let's see what else Spirit would like to tell you. I will first be using the Divine Feminine Oracle. Thank you, Spirit. What else would you like to tell pile number 3? An Endamaya Ma, the joy permeated mother. I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. Next, we'll be using the Fairies of the Oracle deck, and I will be pulling 2 cards from here. Inspiration. Be prepared, as you'll soon receive a visit from the Fairy of Inspiration. Come dusk or dawn, she can call at any time. One more card. Celebration. Get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out to dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. The last deck of cards we'll be using is the Moonology deck, and we'll be pulling 2 cards from here as well. A fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. And one final card. Expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. Okay, pile number 3. So, the ghost of Christmas past. Message from your past life is that you actually had the gift of inspiration. And I'm being shown how inspiration is actually all around you at this time. This card specifically says, be prepared, as you'll soon receive a visit from the Fairy of Inspiration. Come dusk or dawn, she can call at any time. So this indecision, this taking a chance and trying new things, when this inspiration comes to you, it's a matter of acting on them. And this course correct, or not feeling like you're going in the right direction, that is a part of your journey, but it is okay to course correct if you are not enjoying what you are doing. That is the key. If you don't feel joy around what you're working on, that's an indicator that it's not it, and that it's okay to move in another direction based off of a download of inspiration that is going to come your way. Because Enadiameya Ma, the joy permeated mother, I am my own guru, I know the self that never changes, being drawn to the joy permeated mother. So in a past life, you really exuded joy for the things that you worked on and what you did. You knew that you were your own guru, and you took your own advice. You followed your own moral compass. You didn't need to be validated from others. You were open to hearing others' opinions, but if it didn't resonate 100% within your own soul, you didn't buy into it. So I'm going to place my hand on the Joy Permeated Mother card and see what I can hear. Specifically messages from this past life that is bringing messages to you in the present moment right now. Thank you, Spirit. What messages do you have? I'm hearing walking away. In a past life, if something did not bring you joy, you walked away from it immediately. You knew that it wasn't what was for you. You didn't waste any time walking away either. You were like, okay, I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. I'm going to move in another direction and see what my joy is. If this isn't bringing me joy, I am walking away from it. And this was very symbolic of walking away from relationships that didn't bring you joy, walking away from a job that didn't bring you joy. If it didn't bring you joy, you were like, I'm out of here. So this is a past version of yourself really trying to align with you in the present moment right now to let you know that if you want to course correct, if you want to move in a new direction, it's 100% okay. Move towards what brings you joy. This is a past self version of you, and that's why you're feeling it so strongly right now, because you're feeling that certain things in your life don't bring you joy. That is an indication to move towards what does. And there's an aspect of yourself that has no problem doing that, and that you are capable of doing that again in this life because it's part of who you are. You are your own guru, okay? You are the self that never changes. This is a part of you that hasn't changed. So that's why you're being met with the resistance, because this was a very different life that you lived in the past, and you've learned new things in this life. So the true essence of who you are is wanting to align with who you really are. And you're like, well, this isn't how I was taught to do these things. But this version of yourself is, you can teach yourself a new way of being. You are your own guru. Follow your own moral compass. And if something doesn't bring you joy, it's okay to course correct. Okay? And I'm being shown, the more you tap into that awareness, the more that you accept that it's okay to course correct, that it's okay to try something different, it's okay to walk away, that is when so much inspiration will be like, pow, just flowing through you. Because I'm being drawn to, inspiration can call at any time, come dusk or dawn. So it will be like right out of the blue. This could be while you're doing the dishes, or you could be reading a book and just have an inspired download idea of something to do. That is an indication to act on those inspired ideas when they call. But first, you have to get comfortable walking away from things that no longer bring you joy. Once you do that, you're making space for inspiration to come in. So anything else from the joy permeated mother and inspiration? Thank you. I'm hearing technology, so I'm also hearing app. Perhaps some of you are creating an app for something right now, or you will create an app for something, or you could receive this inspiration that you're looking for from an app. So things that you are interested in, I'm being shown to look up certain applications on your phone and download them on your phone, because that download of inspiration from those apps will lead to a download of inspiration for you. There's certain apps here that would be very helpful. With celebration, get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out to dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. So yeah, if you have an invitation to go do something, Spirit is saying to do it, because you very well could meet a soul connection, a divine connection that has a resource that you need, and also to allow yourself to have fun. Don't take yourself so seriously at this time. And I want to see how this relates to a past life here. So I'm going to place my hand on the celebration card and the joy permeated mother. Thank you, Spirit. What else with celebration and how this pertains to a past life? Yeah, a past version of yourself really loves having fun. Anything that brings joy, whether this is going out and dancing, being around people you love, accepting invitations to go have fun and to do something. If you have an invite to go on a trip, that would bring a lot of joy. Yeah, this past version of yourself just exudes so much joy, and you actually helped heal this in other people. You brought a lot of joy to a lot of people's lives. Like, I feel like you have a really amazing sense of humor. You also have the gift of encouraging people. And people look to you as a mother figure, even if you're not a mother. A lot of people, I feel like a lot of people in your life have looked to you as like the mama bear of the friend group, because you're always taking care of other people. You have the gift of inspiring other people. You have the gift of bringing joy to other people. You have the gift of making people laugh. You have the gift of helping people remember what brings them joy. And what you're going through right now, these feelings of not feeling that joy, it's to help you remember this past version of yourself so you can align to that version of yourself again. Because it's almost like, in order to help other people see the joy in their lives, you have to understand what they're going through. So what you're going through right now, as you feel like you have to course correct because you're not feeling joy with something, this is a lesson that you're going to help teach other people. You're going to use this story and say, hey, when I was on my journey here, I felt like I had to course correct because what I was doing, it wasn't bringing me joy. And when I walked away from that, I moved in the direction of something that did, and my reality shifted in a very powerful way. This is something you're going to help teach other people to do. You're going to help people continuously move towards their joy. And yeah, there's a lot to celebrate in your life here. So I'm going to place my hand on the 2 fairy cards in your past life. Divine feminine energy coming through here, and see what I can hear. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm hearing delicate. You also have a very delicate way of relating to other people. Even though, like, the thoughts in your mind right now, they don't feel very delicate. I can feel like that heaviness in your mind right now with the indecision and not knowing which direction to go in, that confusion. Even though you're feeling that, the way that you relate to other people, it's very delicate. Like, you have an amazing way of transmuting negative energy from negative people who are being negative. Like, you have the gift of handling very difficult people. But there's also a strength. If somebody is being too much in the realm of negativity towards you, you also have the ability to put your foot down very strongly and stand up for yourself. Like, I don't see that this has ever really been an issue for you in terms of dealing with people. Like, you have compassion for people, you're delicate with people, but you also have a strong delicateness where you speak your truth in a strong, delicate way that is like fierce, is what I'm picking up on. Like, you are a leader, and that is something to truly celebrate. With the Moonology cards, we have a fiery climax approaches and expect powerful change. So, yeah, the more that you walk away from anything that's not bringing you joy, you're moving into some fiery energy and very powerful change. So, I'm going to place my hands on both of these cards and see what I can hear. Thank you. What other messages do you have for pile number 3, specifically from past lives? Bringing messages into the present moment. Thank you. Yeah, I'm hearing breakthrough. So, a very powerful breakthrough is happening as you come into this awareness about what joy really means to you, as you align with the version of yourself from the past that really exudes that joy. It's just naturally who you are anyway. But what you're going through right now, it's so that you can help other people, inspire other people, help bring other people joy. What else? Thank you. I'm also hearing candles. So lighting candles or candle work, candle magic. I'm being shown you worked a lot with candle magic in your past lives. What went on here, Spirit? Thank you. It was very powerful when you meditated with candles. And certain candles have certain meanings. So perhaps buying some candles that exude an essence of joy while you're meditating will help bring inspiration to you that way as well. Working with candles. There's something here with candles. What else, Spirit? Yeah, there's a lot of wisdom coming through your crown chakra right now. Like I'm being drawn to the purple color on the card here. Expect powerful change. And I'm feeling like the back of my head like tingling here. So it's like you're getting messages from your past self through the back of your crown. What else, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah, they're saying you're a force to be reckoned with, and I'm being drawn to the ram on the card here. I believe that's a ram. But that's a very powerful animal. And yeah, there's just something, it's like having a solid mindset about what you are working towards and nothing being able to penetrate that because you are your own guru. This is you being strong in who you are no matter what. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm hearing the word urge. When you have an urge to do something, that gut reaction, that gut instinct is usually the correct one. The first urge that you have, act on that because that is your intuition speaking to you very loud and clear. So when you have an urge to do something, listen to your intuition. Listen to those urges. What else, Spirit? Thank you. Yes, and I'm hearing quiet time. Also allow for quiet time where you can sit and connect with yourself. This includes, I'm hearing, connecting with your past self to get more messages, your higher self, your shadow self, and also your inner child, because this will help you get very comfortable with being your own guru, integrating all of these components of yourself and accepting yourself for who you are. So yeah, you're not only here to expect powerful change, but you are here to initiate powerful change in the world. But it first stems with continuing to become aware of things that you need to walk away from. And the key is asking yourself if those things are bringing you joy or not, and realizing that it is 100% okay to course correct if it's not bringing you joy, whatever that may be, pile number 3. So those are your messages. If your reading resonated, if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. What are your messages from the ghost of Christmas past? So first off, I'd like to hold space and open up my clairaudient abilities and see what I can hear from Spirit before we pulled some cards. So thank you, Spirit. Connecting to everyone who chose pile number 4. What would you like them to hear? Thank you. The first word that I am hearing is rigorous. So there's something with a lot of effort, something very strenuous that's taking place right now. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm hearing consistent, staying the course with something, keeping the momentum going. What else, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah, I'm hearing a dollop. So a dollop in terms of little. So there's something here about doing less to attract more. There's a belief here that you have to work really, really hard to get what it is that you want. And Spirit is saying that is not the case. You can actually do less and attract more. So let's pull some cards and see what else is going on here. We will be using the Divine Feminine Oracle. Thank you, Spirit. What other messages do you have for pile number 4? Miao Shen, the Princess of Mercy. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. Next, we will be using the Fairies of the Oracle deck. And I'll be pulling 2 cards from here. Celebration. Get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out to dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. One more card from this deck, Spirit. Thank you. Ooh. We have moderation. Is there something you know you shouldn't be eating? Try to eat mindfully and healthily, although the fairies say that a little bit of what you fancy is fine. And we'll also be pulling 2 cards from the Moonology deck. We have, this one flew out. A new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. And one more card, Spirit. Thank you. Oh, these cards are flying out. Take time to breathe out. Disseminating moon. Okay, pile number 4. So with your clairaudient messages, there's definitely a lot of effort being put forth with something. That's why I heard rigorous and also heard doing less to attract more. So Spirit is showing me that you're doing a lot right now. So taking time to breathe out is essential right now. Make sure that you're taking breaks as you need to, that you are resting, recharging, rejuvenating, and also making time to have fun. So invitations to go out and have fun, make sure you're making time for that. Make sure that it's not all work, but that you're also incorporating play as well. So Mao Shen, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, the Princess of Mercy. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. So this is past life energy with messages for you right now. So I'm going to place my hand on this card and see what your past life self is trying to bring through to you right now. What other messages? Thank you, Spirit. What else? Yeah, this is about having mercy with yourself. And also about your perceptions around giving and receiving. So I'm being shown that the rigorous effort you put into something, you do it with all of your heart, and it's because you're a giver, pile number 4. You love to give to people, and your past self is saying, yes, giving is receiving, but there also is an ability here for you to have more mercy with yourself, to not be so hard on yourself when things aren't perfect. There was a past version of yourself that mastered this, and this is a part of you that is wanting to align with you in the present moment right now, saying to be forgiving of yourself when things aren't perfect, because perfect is not something that actually exists in the world. Nobody is perfect. We have imperfections for a reason. We don't make goals for a reason. We don't do things perfectly for a reason. And it's because we need to learn that imperfections are actually very beautiful, and we're meant to love ourselves despite those things. So there's also something here about food and eating, because we have moderation. And also on the Princess of Mercy card, she's holding an apple in her hand. So I'm being shown how some of you can be very hard on yourself if you eat unhealthily, or if you eat something that you feel like you shouldn't. And Spirit is saying everything is okay in moderation. And also, like, it's okay to have a cheat day. It's okay to eat things that you feel taste good to you. There's nothing wrong with that. The key is moderation, though. And eating healthily and mindfully would also help remove certain blockages, because I do feel that you're very intuitive, and I feel that you have some strong psychic abilities, but there are certain foods that you're eating that block those abilities from coming through. Specifically, sugar. Sugar can block foresight and also clairaudience. It can block a lot of different psychic abilities if eaten too much. It's okay to have it in moderation, and there's sugar in almost everything that we eat. Like, there is a need to have a healthy dose of sugar, but I am being drawn to the apple on the card. If sugar is something you struggle with, fruits and eating lots of fruits would help you get a natural source of sugar and will help combat any cravings around sugar. So I'm going to place my hand on the Princess of Mercy card here and see what else I can hear. Thank you, Spirit. I'm being shown some of you are actually very interested in learning about UFOs and extraterrestrial life. What else? What other messages do you have with this, Spirit? Thank you. This is your past life version of you coming through with these messages. What else? Thank you. Yeah, this is a past life version of you from a certain star system in the universe, and this is where your fascination with UFOs and extraterrestrials came from, is because you're very connected to certain star systems in different galaxies in the universe. And I am hearing star seed, so that's confirmation. If you wanted to know if you are a star seed, the answer is yes. What else? Spirit, thank you. Yeah, for some of you, this is something that this is knowledge that you are meant to bring onto planet Earth right now to help raise the vibration. Some of you are here to help anchor in knowledge about extraterrestrials, and some of you are also here to help bring unity between humanity and extraterrestrials. Because in order for that to happen, humanity has to be a little more mature. And I feel like some of you are here to help aid with that. What else, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah, I'm being shown some of you have actually had experiences with ETs. And that's not a coincidence. These were actually ancestors of yours bringing messages to you. And I'm being shown some of you dream about them as well. This is your star system communicating with you about things to help you along your path right now. Like, I'm being shown how meticulous you are. You're very detail oriented. And it's because of gifts that you were given in a past life. Those gifts are aligning in your present moment right now. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm hearing tools. There are certain tools and resources that your ancestors, your past self is helping to give you right now. But one thing that it is blocking this flow state in your life right now is your inability to see that you can do less and attract more. Feeling like you have to be rigorous in what you are doing. Feeling like you have to work yourself to the bone without rest, that is not helping you at all. They're coming through very clearly. Make sure to take time to breathe out, whether that's through meditation, whether that's taking a break from the work you're doing, whether that's going out and having some fun, getting your mind off of work, being mindful of what you are eating with your diet, knowing that it's okay to enjoy things in moderation, not to deprive yourself completely, but also to allow yourself to receive help, to allow yourself to ask for help when you need it, because I'm being drawn to giving is receiving. So you give a lot of your time, you give a lot of your energy, you give a lot of your resources. But in order for you to get the resources that you need to propel your reality much further, you have to open yourself up to receiving help. Giving and receiving need to be balanced. So if somebody asks you if you need help with something, the moment you say yes, that is a very powerful shift in your reality, because you're opening your heart to help. You're opening your heart to let other people help you. And when we don't allow other people to help us, we're actually doing a disservice to the person that's trying to give to us. So that's why there needs to be a balance between giving and receiving. We also have a new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. So there is some love on the horizon here, pile number 4. So I'm going to place my hand on this card and on the Princess of Mercy and see what I can hear from your past self about this new romantic cycle. Thank you, Spirit. What's going on here? Yeah, first thing they say is soulmate, a sacred soulmate. So you have a soulmate coming in the form of a romantic cycle perpetuating in your life right now. What else, Spirit? Thank you. For some of you, I'm being shown that this soulmate is someone who you will accept help from. Or the moment you say yes to allowing people to help you, a soulmate will come in to help you with what you need. That is what shifts the energy. You'll have a soulmate come in the moment that you ask for help with something, or you say yes to allowing someone to help you with something. And this will be a romantic partnership here. Someone who will help you with the work you are doing. And this person will teach you the importance of asking for help. Like, you will actually witness them doing it, is what I'm being shown. And it will just be like looking at them and I'm like, how did they do that so easy? They make it look easy because it is easy. Like, they will show you how to ask for help from others. In unique ways too. Very confident, very bold ways. Like, this person knows how to ask for what they want when they need it. And they're very loving too. This person's very loving. And it's a person you had a past life connection with. I am being drawn to the tiger on the card here. Spirit, what is going on with the tiger here? What's the message from the tiger from a past life? Some of you have the ability to communicate telepathically with animals. The past version of yourself was able to do this and wants you to know this is an ability that you have and you can develop it in your present moment right now. So I do feel like some of you work with animals right now. I'm seeing veterinarians, very empathic with animals. But also there's something here about helping people not be afraid of animals that have been perceived to be scary, kind of like the tiger on this card. Like, look, she has her hand around the tiger, like, I love this tiger loves me, I know this tiger's not gonna hurt me. Like, you have an ability to help people see that these creatures, these animals, they have beating hearts. And you're going to be able to communicate their thoughts to humanity. That's really cool. And it's a gift you've always had. Like, you've been able to do it your entire life without realizing it. But I feel like some of you have just realized that you've been able to do this. But you have this ability to communicate telepathically with any animal. You're able to communicate what the animal needs to humanity, what the animal is saying. I love that so much, and I can feel it in my heart. It is interesting because I was watching a show on Netflix. I cannot remember what it's called, but it's a documentary set up around filming animals. And the first one that I watched was about big cats. And the way that they're portrayed in the show, it's almost like setting up a narrative that they are to be feared, that we are to be afraid of them. And I think you having the ability to communicate telepathically with animals, that's really going to help serve the animals with what it is that they need and help to dispel any fear that humanity has had towards animals with a scary type nature. Because the reason why animals have attacked humans or done negative things to humans is because of a misunderstanding. Humans not being able to understand what the animal needed. But you are going to be able to communicate what the animal needs, and you're going to help to dispel the fear that people have had towards these very powerful animals. That is something you were able to do in a past life, and your past self is telling you that that's what you're here to do as well right now. That's very, very beautiful. Any other messages from past self? Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, I'm being shown oceans too. Helping certain sea life. Because there's something here that has been going on under the ocean for a very long time, and it's not good. There's something that has been going on underneath the ocean floor, and it is not good. I'm being shown animals that are trapped in cages that are not being treated humanely. Some of you are here to help these creatures, this sea life, break out of this captivity. What's going on with the sea life? Spirit, thank you. Yeah, I'm just being shown they're being treated very unfairly. Some of you are here to save these big fish, these big sea mammals in the water. Why are they being held captive? That's what I would like to know. Thank you, Spirit. Some of them are being held captive because they too have the ability to communicate telepathically with humanity. People like you who can do the same. They're being held captive so they can't do that. So they can't bring the messages forward. These animals that have this very unique ability to do this, they're being held captive so that they can't bring these messages through. But you are here to help break them out of that captivity. And the first step in doing that is letting people become aware of what is going on the ocean floor. Like, these animals have a very strong psychic connection to people like you. They have the ability to communicate their needs so that more love can be infused in the ocean. More love and unity can take place between animals and humanity. And this is a huge part of your mission here, pile number 4. You're very connected to animals telepathically. I believe all animals can do this, but there's something very unique about these animals that are being held captive. It's very controlling. It's very distasteful. But the more that light is shined on these things, the more that awareness is brought to them, these amazing animals, these amazing sea creatures can be let go. And I'm also being drawn to, have you seen that show, The Tiger? I think it's called The Tiger King on Netflix. There was a man, I can't remember his name, but there was like a scandal, and he had what was it? Was it like a carnival or something? He had like a site where people could come and view tigers. And there's also something here very strongly about tigers being mistreated, and also in terms of like, oh, that's it. It's very dark. There's a lot of dark things that have been happening to tigers. And it's like you're able to give a voice to these animals because you can communicate telepathically with them. You can pick up on how they feel. You can pick up on what it is they need. So definitely tap more into those psychic abilities so that we can bring more love to this animal community, and that we can bring more love between humanity and animals, and not be afraid of these beautiful, beautiful animals that are here to inspire us. We're meant to live in peace amongst animals of all kinds. And you have a very, very precious gift in being able to communicate with animals telepathically. So very, very cool, pile number 4. And for some of you, this romantic cycle, this is another person who has these same abilities as you, and you two together are going to be a dynamic duo. So very, very cool. Do less and attract more. Take those breaths to breathe out. Moderate what it is that you are eating. Enjoy what you want to eat in moderation. You'll develop your psychic abilities more strongly, your telepathic communication, the more that you eat mindfully. Take time to celebrate and have fun, and know that giving and receiving, keeping those things in balance, is very important. So that is all that I am seeing, pile number 4. Those are your messages. Thank you for being here. I'm so grateful for you. If your reading resonated, if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Hey, pile number 5. Welcome to your reading. What messages does the ghost of Christmas past have for you? So first off, I would like to hold some space for my clairaudience to open up and see what messages I can hear from Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for connecting me to everyone who chose pile number 5. What messages do you have for them right now? Thank you. I'm hearing the word chewy. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm also hearing the word resonate, chewy and resonate. What else, Spirit? Thank you. And I'm also hearing the word advanced. So I'm not quite sure how these three words resonate with your reading. So we have chewy, resonate, and advanced. So let's pull some cards and see what Spirit is bringing through here. First, we will start with the Divine Feminine Oracle. Thank you, Spirit. What messages do you have for pile number 5? We have Mao Shan, the Princess of Mercy. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. She came through for pile number 4 as well. Next, we will use Fairies of the Oracle. We are going to pull 2 cards from this deck. Celebration. Get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out to dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. Divination. Embrace your powers of divination, which are especially strong right now. You have the ability to see your current situation with crystal clear clarity. And the last deck we'll be using is Moonology, and we will also be pulling 2 cards from here. Balance spirituality and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. And 1 more card. Thank you. Nothing will come of this situation. Void of course, moon. Okay, pile number 5. So the first word that I heard was chewy. And on this card here, if you look very closely, she's holding an apple in her hand. So your past version of yourself is telling you to be very mindful of what you are eating at this time. Because I feel that you are very intuitive. You have psychic abilities because we have divination. So perhaps you use divination in some form, whether that's reading tarot or sensing energies, energy healing, foresight, being able to see things before other people, knowing things before they happen. And I'm hearing chewy because your past self was very mindful about food, really knew how to enjoy the food that they were eating. And when we eat mindfully, we're very present with our food. So, for example, eating this apple, taking a bite and chewing it, allowing yourself to savor it, being present with the taste, the flavor, just really enjoying your food. It helps you have a better relationship with food. So, hearing chewy to help you become more mindful about your relationship with food, really chewing your food, savoring your food, enjoying your food. With resonate and advanced, I feel that your psychic abilities are very, very advanced. So when something resonates with you, it resonates on a very strong soul level. Your intuition is very, very strong. So any form of divination that you use to help other people, to add value, to be of service to someone, it's only going to get more advanced the more that you tap into it and develop it. Okay? So, Spirit is saying there is a lot to celebrate and that you have this gift for a reason. So, make sure that you are really going deep into your spiritual gifts. There's nothing to be afraid of here. It's about understanding that giving is receiving. And if you're not sharing your these gifts that have been given to you, then it's kind of doing a disservice to humanity that needs these gifts. You are a gift to humanity because of the spiritual gifts that you have. And I am picking up on a little bit of fear around those abilities, of how advanced things resonate with you. And Spirit is saying that this is the time to really start to develop them more and not be afraid of them. There's nothing to be afraid of. So I'm going to place my hand on the Princess of Mercy here and see what I can hear. Thank you, Spirit. What other messages from Pile 5's past self would like to come through? I'm hearing the word tickling. So there's something here about laughter. It's interesting because the card next to this one is celebration. So your past self is saying to let yourself have fun, let yourself laugh, that everything is not all dark and bleak in the world. And when we laugh, we change the energy in our current situation. So make time to celebrate, to go out with friends, to watch something that makes you laugh, to exude more joy into your life, whether that's dancing, just connecting with other people, and not being so hard on yourself. Because what I'm picking up on here with your spiritual gifts, while I am sensing that things resonate with you in a very advanced way, there is some self-doubt here. There is some self-doubt that you feel like you're not as accurate as you feel like you should be. And Spirit is saying that your gut reaction is on point. Like, you have this gift. What you were saying is true. Everything you were saying is true. And it's like this fear that people aren't resonating with what you're putting out, but they actually are more than you think they are. It's just that you have to keep the momentum going with this, keep putting your messages out there, because energy builds with momentum and consistency. So if you have a YouTube channel or a TikTok where you're doing tarot reading, some type of divination, the more content that you create, the more consistent you are with it, rest assured it's going to pick up. Because sometimes when tarot readers are giving very powerful messages, sometimes the messages are things that people are completely blown away with by hearing how accurate they are. And sometimes people can be afraid of that. But the fact that it resonated so deeply, I rest assured you, people are going to remember that. And people always remember how you make them feel. So, for the love of all the good in the world, keep going with what it is you are doing, okay? I'm also showing that for some of you, there is a very powerful divination skill you have that you bring through with channeled messages in music that you create. So, if you write music, if you write poetry, then keep going with that, because what you are putting out is really helping more than you know. Like, I'm being shown somebody that puts up a video and then thinks it's not good enough and then deletes it. Okay? So keep yourself out there. Don't delete something beautiful that you have created. Now, if you have somebody who is projecting jealousy, who makes a negative comment on something that you are creating, it's because the message that you put in your song, put in your art, the message got through. You brought an awareness to that person so much that it triggered them. The trigger is actually a good thing because it brought an awareness within themselves. You helped them, okay? So when people react negatively to work that you put out, that is merely a sign of help that they need. They're basically saying, okay, you saw me. You saw something within me, and I don't like it. I don't like being seen. I don't like this authentic vision that you are perpetuating towards me. It's because an aspect of their shadow self has been triggered, and it's a piece of themselves that they have disowned. So the fact that you triggered it in a loving way through your music, that is helping more than you know. And I guarantee you, the person that was triggered who perpetuated the hate at you, they have been thinking and thinking and thinking about the lyrics in your song. They actually sit and think about it, is what I'm being shown. And they're thinking, well, is that really what's going on here? It's helping them get real with themselves. They're healing because of a healing message you put in a song. The trigger is actually our best friend. So believe in what you are doing, okay? And sometimes with divination in all its forms, negative messages come through, but those messages need to be heard so that true healing can take place and that we can continue to usher in the new earth with the collective. So we have balance, spirituality, and practicality. I'm going to place my hand on this card and see what I can hear. Thank you, Spirit. What other messages do you have? Yeah, there's something here about feeling like what you're doing is not realistic in terms of a career for yourself. And Spirit is saying to balance your spiritual life with a practical life, that those can be integrated with one another. Yes, you can make money with your spiritual gifts, and Spirit encourages that because you are worth it. You deserve to be paid for your wisdom. You deserve to be paid for the divine messages that you are channeling into the world. You deserve to be everything that you already are. You deserve to know how worthy, whole, and complete you are. You deserve to love yourself. You're deserving of your own love, and you are worthy of receiving love from others. but that love from others comes as a byproduct of loving yourself first. Then we have nothing will come of this situation. So, okay, past life self coming very strongly through to let you know that nothing is going to come of a certain situation in your life. So I'm going to place my hand on this card and the Princess of Mercy and see what's going on. What happened here, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah, the Princess of Mercy. I'm being shown you're being very hard on yourself right now. Your past self is saying, have mercy on yourself. That the situation that's taking place, nothing is going to come of this. So forgive yourself, have mercy on yourself, stop being hard on yourself. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm feeling like a heavy energy like in my mouth. So I feel like you're being very hard on yourself, some of you, about food that you eat. I'm being drawn back to chewy and like certain things. Like I feel like you're very hard on yourself if you eat something unhealthy or you eat something that you feel like you shouldn't. But this is all coming back to being mindful, sitting with your food, being present with your food. That will help you to have a better relationship with food. So that's another, the message is coming through again. But what about nothing will come of this situation? What situation are you referring to? Thank you. I'm hearing the word dogma. So for some of you, there's something here around religion. I feel like there's people in your life putting down your gifts of divination because it's not in alignment with a certain religion, being told that it's shameful, that it's sinful, and that is not true. I'm here to tell you that is not true. Okay? I feel like a lot of you have had a spiritual awakening. I feel like the divine has been speaking very strongly to you. And that was one of the first things that the divine, the universe, God showed me, was that there is another way of viewing divination, that it's actually used to help people love themselves. It's actually used to usher in incredible healing, to help people understand the power of thinking for oneself. It is an amazing ability to help people learn to love themselves, to get inspired ideas for their own gifts and talents, to become better versions of themselves. And there's something here where someone is telling you that, I'm hearing this very strongly. Someone has said, you're practicing divination. Well, you're going to go to hell if you do that. And I grew up in a very Christian household. And when my grandparents found out that I was doing tarot readings on YouTube, they didn't say that in so many words, but there was that judgment. And that was very hurtful. So I know exactly how you feel because I love my grandparents. I know they love me, but I don't agree with everything that they believe. I have actually grown to see that a lot of narratives from the religion that I grew up following actually teaches a lot of self-hate. There is a lot of narratives in terms of, oh, you're a sinner if you do this. It's a sin if you have sex. You can't enjoy sex. It's a sin if you practice witchcraft. It's a sin if you practice divination. But once I had my spiritual awakening, where I communicate very strongly with God, the divine, the universe, my angels, archangels, I was shown that divination is actually a very powerful way to help people love themselves. So the narratives that certain religions say about these things, it is not true. And anyone who would judge you for that is not loving you unconditionally. Okay? Someone who loves you unconditionally accepts you for everything that you are. They don't tell you that you're going to go to hell because you're providing inspiring, uplifting messages through a spiritual gift that you have been given. Okay? This was something, and something still, that I grapple with myself, so I completely understand that. But you have to not buy into what the naysayers say and continue to do you, because the more that we send these inspiring messages to one another, the more that we come together in this and unite, we are going to show a way of being in the world that is one of unconditional love and acceptance. Okay? Now, I still think there are very powerful messages that come from Christianity. And I believe that my religion growing up kept me very connected with God. But I also can see how a lot of the narratives I was taught made me feel ashamed about myself for far too long. And shame, when it manifests in the body, it is some of the most painful physical symptoms you could ever possibly imagine. It feels like your whole body is inflamed in certain areas because of the shame. And I don't wish that on anybody. It is not shameful to engage in divination. It's actually very powerful and uplifting when you're using it to help other people, when you're using it to encourage other people, when you're using it to help other people love themselves. There's nothing wrong with it. Your spiritual gifts are beautiful, and I'm here to tell you that. So please don't stop, okay? And somebody who loves you unconditionally will not tell you that what you are doing is wrong. I love you, and I want you to keep going, and so does Spirit. So there you go. Nothing will come of this situation. So I feel like if you have had family members or friends come at you, Spirit is saying that there'll be a peaceful resolution here, that nothing will transpire negatively any further with this, is what I'm picking up on. So I'm going to place my hands on your past self again and see if there's any additional messages that are coming through. Thank you, Spirit. Any final messages for pile number 5? Yeah, they're saying keep going as well. What else, Spirit? They're also pointing out your hands. Like I'm feeling a surge of energy in my hands. Some of you are very powerful energy healers when you touch people. And a lot of you are coming into the understanding right now that as long as other people exert their free will to want the healing from the energy that you channel in your hands, then it's very powerful. We can't force healing on anyone. We live on a planet that is ruled by free will. So if you are just learning about the powers you have with touching and energy healing, I believe you're just coming into the realization that you have to do so in a way where somebody exerts their free will in order for you to be able to bring that healing. And I'm also being drawn to the animal on the card, the tiger. Some of you also have an ability to heal animals with your hands. I'm going to place my hand on this card. What else, Spirit? Thank you. I'm being shown like a top hat for some reason. Why are you showing me a top hat, Spirit? I feel like it's in regards to celebration, like getting dressed in your best and going out and having a good time. Like feeling deserving of fine looking clothes. Now, clothes, yeah, I'm being drawn to her appearance on the card here. And taking time for yourself in the morning to get ready and just being mindful of your self-care. It's very important because while our clothes don't define us, they're still fun to play around with, and our unique style helps communicate to the world who we are. And I feel like you have a very unique style, but it's almost like I'm being shown someone who doesn't feel like they're worthy to put in the effort to make themselves look good. And that is not saying that you don't look good. Spirit is saying you are beautiful as you are no matter what. So I mean, if you feel like wearing your pajamas, that's 100% okay. And if you don't feel like getting ready, it's okay to honor those feelings. But what Spirit is showing me is that you do have a very unique style, and when you do get ready, I'm being shown that it does bring you a lot of joy and you have fun with it while you're getting ready. So Spirit is saying you are worthy of those fine clothes that you have in your closet, and taking time to create an outfit for yourself, style your own unique style. There's a very powerful shift in the energy when you take the time to do things like that for yourself that are cultivating self-love. Now, like I said, our clothes don't define us, but they are fun. They're fun to create outfits with. And I feel like you are somebody that really does like to do that. But when depression takes toll, that feeling can make us feel like we don't want to do anything. And I have had bouts of depression. I've spent a lot of times on my couch crying. I've went through dark nights of the soul, and for months there, for a while, there were times where I wear the same outfit 3 days in a row. So I completely understand how that feels. But there is something powerful about when you make the time for yourself and you put on an outfit that makes you feel good, and you take time with your appearance, because your appearance communicates your unique authenticity to the world. The energy does shift. So making some time for yourself in that sense would also prove very beneficial. So I'm going to place my hands on all the cards here. Are there any final messages, Spirit? Thank you. Yeah, they're saying, let the world see the real you, because the real you is what the world needs to see. They need to see your spiritual gifts of divination. They need to see that fun, loving side of you They need to see your unique style and your fashion sense. Nothing's going to come of this difficult situation that's taking place in your life right now. You're very advanced psychically. Things resonate with you strongly. And it's important to be mindful when chewing your food, while eating your food, having a relationship with your food. That is all that I am seeing, pile number 5. Those are your messages. If your reading resonated, if you enjoyed the reading, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you on the next one.